There's still a lot of fans inside the stadium, the music's still playing, and why not? Because when you get a result like this against a team like that, you have to soak it up and enjoy it, right?
Yeah, it's very much what the stadium needed in respect of where Arsenal are going and how we're playing. The narrative kind of goes a little bit from feast to famine. With everything that's gone against them, they're still right amongst it. And I think a performance like this against the City side that seemed to be looking like they were coming out of the doldrums a little bit is a magnificent performance. What a fantastic performance.
What does that do for Arsenal's self-belief now in terms of the timing of this? Having seen Liverpool go 9 clear, not just to beat City, but the manner in which they did it, Michael.
Well, exactly. All of a sudden you look at it, don't you, and think, right, well, Arsenal have still got to play Liverpool. Liverpool have still got to play some tough games. Away in the Merseyside derby, next is not going to be easy. There's only 6 points between them now. All of a sudden you just think, could they? They're in some form. Going into this game they were in brilliant form. And that performance was as good as it gets. Imagine what the feeling is amongst the club. Not just the first team, not just the fans. Imagine the academy. There's a 17-year-old kid curling a ball into the far corner. There's a left-back that's just played one of the best games I've seen from a left-back all season, who's only 18.
Who's a midfielder.
I mean, and he's scoring with his right foot. I mean, the whole club will be absolutely bouncing after a day like that, and they've just got to keep that momentum going forward. Listen
and
to
imagine playing to the crowd when the Ian Wright fan club's watching us as well.
No, it's not the fan club. This is what it's about. It means everything to us in what's going on with our manager. Our manager gets a lot of stick. He's trying to build a team that can challenge these teams like City, like Liverpool. We've seen what Liverpool are doing. And all you've got to do is put in performances like this. So as then Liverpool know, if they do slip up, Arsenal are ready to take advantage. That's what we need to do. Be ready to take the chance. And that's why we need to take them chances some of the times.
Yeah, they're now on the longest unbeaten run in the Premier League since Mikel Arteta came to the club, Joe.
Yeah, excellent performance today and an unbeaten run, but ultimately they're just trying to put pressure on the top. Today's a great moment. I'm sure they'll take a lot of momentum from it. But Liverpool, I think it will just be hurting Arsenal, the fact that they've chased City down now. That was who they've had in their sights this whole time. It's who they've had their eyes on. They've turned them over here. They look like they had their number. They had the belief to beat them. But then to just have Liverpool, I know, look, we're saying Liverpool have done nothing wrong. They've done absolutely nothing wrong. They put in a great performance yesterday at Bournemouth. They keep taking care of business. But Arsenal can feel good today, and I'm sure they will.
That's the heartbreaking thing.
He's playing to the crowd.
Oh, he loves it.
No,
let him sing to the crowd, and we'll keep talking.
We'll carry on our conversation, right? You go and talk to your people.
The heartbreaking thing for Arsenal is they must have started this season and think, come on, we've got Manchester City in our eyes. If we can beat them, we're going to do it. And the heartbreaking thing, as I say, is they're absolutely ahead of City.
They keep breaking boundaries, but they need to break the number one boundary. That's the most important thing.
Exactly.
But in terms of belief, in terms of an injection in confidence, if they needed it, that they can compete with the very best and do it, as I say, in that manner today, what does that say?
Yeah, we're talking about a City side that's kind of like coming out of a little bit of a poor spell, trying to get themselves going. We've made a couple of signings, you know. They're trying to gel it all together at the minute, and I thought that obviously Chelsea, if they won today as well, you start thinking, okay, we're starting to see some stabilising, but that result will it's made us all like, where's that come from? But like, you have to say, the way Arsenal continue to play, they put the pressure on, they kept the pressure on City at the back, on Phil Foden, giving the ball away, kept the pressure on them, didn't give no chances to Erling Haaland, even though he scored, and they kept it tight. It felt very tight. It felt like they had to earn every single thing what they tried to get today, City, and then we took chances. Win games.
I just want to put this into context today. That is only the second time that a Pep Guardiola side has conceded 5 goals in any competition in his managerial career.
Yeah.
That's what Arsenal have done today.
Yeah, well, Steve, I agree with that, and it is a big moment, but City they've took some big results this season, 4 at home to Tottenham. This is not City who are cruising high at the top of the league. This is a City that a few teams have felt it. You know, I was away at Brentford. They never laid down at 2-0. People aren't scared of Manchester City at the moment.
But this is an Arsenal side, Joe, where people were saying, and we were talking right at the top of our show today, can they score goals? Can they finish the chances? Can they beat Manchester City playing like this?
I agree, and full credit to Arsenal today. And the thing that really struck me, like I say, wasn't the 2-1, wasn't turning it around after 2-1. A deflected goal can happen. Partey is a bit of a hopeful shot, hit Stones his back. It was the fact they wanted 3. Then they didn't want to just sit on 3, they wanted 4, and at the end they're having a party and they're scoring the 5th. That was the most impressive thing for me. So they really grew from this game.
Yeah, City didn't have a shot since the equaliser.
No. As Righty said, they beat them in all areas. Really, they didn't look like landing a glove on Arsenal today. Right from minute one, I was so impressed with Arsenal. And if they keep playing like that,
what impressed you the most? What impressed you the most? Because we were so close to the action here. I mean, the speed of the play and the strength and the pressing. But what impressed you the most, or perhaps surprised you the most today about Arsenal?
Yeah, I think their attitude and their belief to it, really. In that, I mentioned before the game, they've only beat 2 teams this season in the top half. You know, you go back over the last few years, they never beat Manchester City. Manchester City always beat them, or they draw.
Yeah.
You know, in the big games, that might just have broken the shackles now. They can take on the champions and absolutely blitz them. And now they shouldn't be scared of anybody that comes to this place, or for that matter, wherever they go in the country.
I think they've already, when you're talking about playing here, especially, the crowd's ready to be like they were today. I think that on many occasions we've seen. Again, I'm repeating myself a bit, but you need to take those chances for you to get comfortable in the game and give you that energy to keep working at what you're doing. You get that next goal, like Joe was saying, you go for the next one. And then you'll see even teams as good as City, they end up, you demoralise them, and then you just keep finishing them. And that's what we haven't done enough of in this season, particularly, missing a lot of chances. And if we can take them, we could probably do that to most teams in this league.
Right, do you think that Kai Havertz goal is a huge message for Arsenal today? The fact that obviously that narrative could have been groaning and moaning, you know, missing that chance at 1-0, going 1-1. But for him, I know it was only a 4th goal, but it was the 4th goal with the attitude and the composure that he took it.
It's funny because me and Mike was saying, you know, Mike, obviously the chance that we had when it was 1-1, and it was an easier chance, if we're going to be totally honest. And he missed that. It's like
1-0, that was 1-0.
Yeah, it was 1-0. And when it was 3-1, you're in a different headspace.
Right.
You know, he actually came back, Joe, cut inside someone, and then had to curl it over there. Whereas when he was there, he just needed to get it on target on the left.
Yeah.
And sometimes it frees your mind up when you've got to go through when you're 3-1 and when you're 1-0 down. You know?
That's a really interesting point Joe's making, though. At 3-1, we've seen a lot of managers bring on extra players, make sure, game management, see it out. There was none of that from Arsenal today. The hunger, as he says, was there to go and get more.
Smelt blood, didn't they?
Sorry to interject. Usually we're very close to it, right? And it wasn't Arteta, you know, with how animated he can be. It was the team.
Very good
point. The team wanted it. Martin Odegaard, when he pressed, he didn't just run.
Yeah.
He ran, slinging his arms back like this, saying, "Come with me." Declan Rice and Partey were so tidy today. They will not get a mention, but they were excellent in just backing Odegaard up and freeing him up to really put the pressure on.
Yeah, you know, we spoke before the game as well about the goalkeeper situation and that Ederson, you know, you'd possibly lose that ball over the top into Haaland's feet, and that could have played a part. That could have given Arsenal a little bit more impetus to go and press. But I just think that the way they did press on that back four, the way they nicked it twice in the first half, scored the first goal, should have scored the second, and not killed the game off, but should have scored the second. All of a sudden, it gave them so much confidence and energised them. And even in that second half, they couldn't pass out at Manchester City. They can always pass out, but they just couldn't.
Yeah.
No,
but the thing is that when you start to see it working, you've got the goals, what you're supposed to get, and then you're looking at a team and you're watching them slowly go into themselves like City. That's what happens. And so then what happens is you just get even more confident. And what's happened in too many occasions, Arsenal have missed the opportunity to get into that situation. They got into it today and really punished them.
The other little detail as well, Righty, I feel, is that let's say playing that ball over, beating the press and playing a longer ball into Erling Haaland, it doesn't necessarily wash against Arsenal. Their centre-halves are so strong, so big, so aggressive.
There was one particular moment you turned to me with Saliba, wasn't there?
Yeah. I'd hate to play against him. I mean, it was a heavyweight contest, don't get me wrong, but Erling Haaland's, he's not the greatest at holding the ball up. He's against you. He's got no chance, so even if they miss the midfield and flip it over into his feet, they just bully him out the way. Yeah. And no matter what Manchester City did today, Arsenal had an answer for it.
And you know what as well, what happens with that, it happened to me a lot, is that when they know that sometimes you're a little bit lacking a bit of confidence in that first touch to hold it up to link the play, they come all the way with you. They'll go all the way. So when it goes into Erland, they'll just be right in his back because they believe that it's going to bounce off of him. And a lot of the times it does. And then when you're able to do that, you could get straight back into them.
I think also Manchester City, they lost faith on the pitch as well. No one was running off Erling Haaland. No one was running for the flicks.
No.
Saliba and Gabriel especially. Gabriel said today, I'm going to take you, you're coming with me every single time, and he was up for the battle. And Arsenal were just sending really positive messages throughout the whole game that just threw City off. They were thrown off by them. They looked like a team who'd been told to go out and play football, not a team that has dominated and set new examples of how the Premier League played. It was really impressive.
And let's take our way back to 1-0 and the way it came about. Joe hinted at this before the game.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we're talking about, the press early on. I think John Stones possibly could have had a couple of different options here to pass elsewhere. He played into a risky, but don't get me wrong, Akanji's first touch was poor, he should have taken it away. But these are the options. If he does it quickly, I think these are the options he's got. As it happens, Arsenal push him into an area that they want. Declan Rice picks up the loose ball after a poor touch from Akanji, and then Havertz plays it across. And the guy
there to Erling Haaland. That is how Arsenal are feeling today, and they were up for it. I thought it was an incredible start.
What are you
buzzing for?
No, he's just smiling. I thought he was going to ask me something. He's just smiling.
I'm smiling because of your reaction to Gabriel's reaction.
Well, you know, the thing is that like me and Joe was saying at half time, it's like that's fine in the game because like they've obviously got something. I know that Gabriel would have probably been thinking about Erling Haaland today and last. No, you
bullying.
don't.
I'm not up for bullying. I'm not up for a dominant team taking the mick out of a little team. But that's two big, strong, top players having it in the middle of the football pitch in front of everyone. I love it.
Yeah.
And Haaland had his moment, of course, at 1-1 when we thought, right, we've got a different game and complex on our hands here.
Yeah, it was a great goal. This was. It really was. I mean, Erling Haaland's. Up early, he's got hang time. Savinho plays a lovely ball and follows his pass. He's the person actually that just clips it up. And you don't have to be specific against Haaland.
Just put it in.
Just chip it into the box and he'll attack.
You know what's really frustrating about City is they get themselves in situations like this all the time. He's in there. They don't put it in. They do not put it in. Saliba was the wrong side. He ended up being the wrong side. He made him look silly in that position. They've got to get the ball in there to him. They're not doing it.
If I'm an attacker, trying too strong, so that's the huge advantage he's got when he gets in front, jumps early, and then he's just got hang time.
But this is why as well. You know when the people are talking about, you know, I kept sending people. I kept getting this. How many touches he's had? I'm petrified of Erling Haaland.
That was his 8th touch in the game.
I'm petrified of Erling Haaland at any stage of the game. I remember people saying he hasn't had enough touch. I think he had 11 touches last season, scored 3 goals against Forest. Why are people so obsessed with these touches? And how many touches he had? If they get the ball in the box, he only has 4. He probably scored 4 goals. He could score 4 goals. Look at him. That's the only time he slipped them today because they got the ball in the box. That's what City have to be looking at now.
The problem City had was they were level for just 105 seconds, and we'd often see Phil Foden lose possession in the way he did.
Momentum shifts. It was Arsenal's reaction after that I was so impressed with.
Yes. The work rate.
2-1, but we're going to pause and say hello to the...
How big a result to do that to the champions in the manner that you did?
Yeah, really, really good result. I think I really like especially the way we reacted to the goal we conceded. Straight away we go and we score again, and we didn't stop after that. So yeah, I think the whole game we played with such good intensity, energy, and also on the ball we were brave and we took our chances, and yeah, it was good.
Martin, I like that when it went to 1-1, even when we had the chance, unfortunately we didn't take that chance, but the energized we was. Is that something that he said, we have to keep this up, this pressure, what we're putting on them, keep them under pressure?
Yeah, I think it's one of our biggest strengths, you know, how we play with intensity, the rhythm when we go on the high press, you know, when we lose the ball, everybody sprints back, and yeah, we're so aligned and everyone is doing it together, and yeah, then you see what happens, we win balls and we score goals, and yeah, it was great.
We all know about the established players, yourself and you know all the great players in Arsenal. But what about the youngsters? Ranieri coming on, Lewis Skelly starting. 2 performances there from a 17 and 18-year-old that just must make you think the future's so bright.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, we're so good and so aggressive, and yeah, you could see that in the first half we won 2 balls where we scored 1 and should have scored another one, and yeah, I think the whole team played.
Continuing to keep going. You're looking at Liverpool. Yes, there's 6 points, the game in hand. How are you? What's keeping you going? We've just got to keep going.
I think it's a massive belief, you know, in the team, in the group, what we can do. We know what we're capable of. We've been there now for 2 years fighting, and we know the quality we have. And I said it before the game that we feel like we have another gear to go into, and yeah, I think you could see that today. So yeah, the belief comes from there. We know the quality we have, and the togetherness and the group.
Yes.
He won't stop smiling all night, you know that, man. On that belief, though, to do that to the champions in that manner, 5 goals. I mean, we've just been saying it's only the second time Pep Guardiola has ever conceded 5 in his managerial career. So what does that do to the collective confidence in this title race?
Yeah, I think it's a big boost, obviously, to win a game like this. But already before the game, we had a lot of belief and confidence in the team and what we can do. And we've said it many times, we're going to go until the very end and we're going to keep fighting and we'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely a good boost for everyone.
And you've kept in there, 6 points off Liverpool now. I mean, you're going to just keep on their tails and keep in this fight?
Yeah, we have to focus on ourselves. We have to do our job every week, every game. And then we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Fantastic performance today.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
it. Well done. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Pleasure, guys.
Martin
You're the
Ødegaard.
best, Mark. You're the best.
Live for you on Matchday Live on the road here at the Emirates, the Arsenal captain. So we've just